Ethan Sachs and Paolo Villanelli join the War of the Bounty Hunters as Valance and Dengar pick up Boba Fett's trail on Nar Shaddaa, only to run into Chewbacca and C-3PO, who are also searching for Fett and Han Solo, pitting both groups against one another with deadly results. Ethan Sachs wonderfully joins up with Charles Soule's mega event by continuing on some of his own stories and filling in some of the details hinted at in Soule's main War of the Bounty Hunters book. I enjoyed the urgency Valance has in this issue, as he's frustrated it's taking too long to find Fett and Solo, a person he wants to repay for saving his life, and it's causing him to rely on brute force rather than actual tact when dealing with underworld elements, something that he's dealt with in the past and never really gotten past. On top of that, we get more background information on Crimson Dawn with Tonga and Losha, tying it quite really wonderfully into the plot revolving around Cadlia and the Unbroken clan, with Crimson Dawn seemingly trying to kill off all of the old criminal empires. Ethan makes it seem so easy to balance all these plots and even tie them back into things he was building in the early days of the book, and it's definitely a sign of a good writer, which he definitely is. The book also ends with another great Crimson Dawn tease with Deathstick, a character who appeared in the Star Wars Uprising mobile game and was something I didn't expect to see getting involved with this, but it's a welcome addition to a series which seems to be getting everyone and the kitchen sink involved in its plot. Paolo Villanelli continues to be an awesome asset for the book, giving us some great looking action set pieces full of bright explosions and unique hand-to-hand combat and blaster action, and great looking characters. He really has a handle on these characters like Valance and Dengar, and they just look awesome in every panel. Bounty Hunters issue 13 begun filling in some of the smaller details of War of the Bounty Hunters, involving even more and some pretty surprising characters in an already sprawling action-packed saga. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. Bounty Hunters issue 13 finds Valance and Dengar arrive on Nar Shaddaa, but they are too late to catch Boba Fett. He has already left the planet and the only clue is a dead bounty hunter on a cantina floor. Dengar knows that Valance never shuts up and listens, since they are going to use his methods now, not Valance's, since he can't punch his way out of every problem and Fett's head start is only growing. Valance knows he's got more problems to punch, crushing Dengar's hand and removing it from his shoulders. Dengar says that he has a source in the market, an arms dealer plugged into the huts, and if anyone knows why Jabba put a hit on Fett, it will be him. Dengar shows Valance Devono Vix, his contacts, wanting to make sure that Valance knows that he'll do the talking. Valance, however, knows that this is a waste of time, smashing the gunrunner in the face and giving him an incentive to talk. Valance asks the man where Boba Fett is, but Devono only knows he's making a big mistake, wanting his men to kill the hunters. Dengar asks Valance which part, the delicacy or the tact, was unclear to the man, as Valance knows that these men aren't the delicate type, as the hunters blast their way out of the market, killing many of the men before going after the fleeing Devono. Nearby in Aruba Square, Chewbacca and C-3PO meet with one of Sagwa's contacts, who's surprised the gold droid made it this far since the protocol droid parts fetch a good sum of money on the market. Suddenly they see an explosion in the distance as the contact says that Sagwa will meet with them by the arena entrance. 3PO says that the moon is a dreadful place, reminding Chewie of the trauma he experienced the last time they were there. Chewie gets a familiar smell as Devono rushes past them, pushing over 3PO, and Valance bumps right into Chewbacca, recognizing him as Han Solo's Wookiee partner. Chewbacca recognizes him as the man who shot at them as Dengar arrives, telling Valance to slow down. Spotting Chewie, he knows this could be good as Valance is picked up by Chewbacca, telling the Wookiee that this is just a misunderstanding. Chewie slams him against the wall as 3PO says that this isn't what Luke meant by them keeping a low profile. At the fortress of the Mourner's Whale, Tonga and Losha land to find the fortress in ruins and its inhabitants long dead. Losha wants to get off world now, but Tonga knows that they need the Syndicate on their side if they are going to find Cadlia, since she's the key to stopping the crime war that led to her brother's death and so many others, and her grandfather can help them once he learns what they know. They note the scorch marks on the building, knowing that the battle must have been something to see. Losha hates the smell of burnt flesh as Tonga tells her and the Nexu to stay by the ship while she scouts ahead, something Losha doesn't want since they were meant to do this together. Tonga tells her wife that she's the only one she trusts to have her back and she might need her shooting skills, but right now, Comdeck only knows her, so it's best she goes alone, but she will call if there is anything wrong. Heading inside, Tonga finds it worse than outside, finding an unknown dead soldier, one that doesn't belong to the Mourner's whale. Someone catches her off guard with a blaster as Valance meanwhile hits Chewbacca in the head, knowing he doesn't want to do this, but nothing will stop him from finding Han Solo. He just wants to talk about this, reassuring the Wookiee that he isn't going to use his palm blasters. Dengar meanwhile gets a drink, but has to save it from being knocked over as Valance is thrown into the bar by the Wookiee. Chewie sees Dengar, remembering what he did to him last time they were on the planet, so Chewie grabs the Hunter, who says that him ambushing Chewie on the moon was a long time ago. 3PO says that Wookiees are notorious for holding grudges as Dengar goes for his blaster. Valance tells him not to make that choice since it'll only make the Wookiee angrier, but Dengar pulls the blaster, which Chewie knocks out of his hand and throws the Hunter away. Valance kicks Chewie down, not blaming him for wanting to kill Dengar, but he needs the Hunter. Valance pulls a weather vane loose from a conduit, using it as a spear, but he doesn't want to fight, since the day he was trying to kill Han was a mistake. He drops the spear, saying that he hadn't seen Han in years since they were Imperial cadets, but Han was his friend, and he saved his life once and maybe his soul. He tells Chewie that he had tried to make it right with Han before, but he always seems to owe the man, and there is no way he can walk away from that when he needs him the most, so he's going to help find Han, whether Chewbacca likes it or not. Chewie offers Valance a hand up as 3PO says that he is glad that it's over since he could have been damaged in the fight. He translates Chewie's growls, saying if Valance truly cares about Han Solo, he will trust Chewie to save him, but there may be a time when he needs him to help, and until then, the Hunter should stay out of Chewbacca's way, or he'll rip off his cybernetic arms. Chewie and 3PO take their leave as Dengar awakens, wondering what he missed. Tonga meanwhile is confronted by Lord Comdeck and his men. The man says it's good to see the woman again, but she must flee at once, but Tonga says the people who did this are long gone, but the man knows that's what they make you think, and that's when they strike. Tonga stops the man from leaving, saying that she's travelled a great distance to bring him news about his son. Comdeck knows that his son is long dead, but he will see him soon. He says that he should have left, but now it's too late since Crimson Dawn have arrived. Valance meanwhile learns that Crimson Dawn is back, but he doesn't believe Devono, wanting to know where Fett took the carbonite. Devono says that Fett doesn't have the carbonite, Crimson Dawn has it, but Valance knows that that crime syndicate doesn't exist anywhere but the History Hollows now, since they disappeared years ago. Devono says that it's true and they have been waiting all this time, planning something big, and their leader has been ordering big shipments of arms for them, and not just run-of-the-mill weapons either, but exotic ones as well. The man says that Fett would have delivered Solo had he had him still, but the carbonite was stolen, and Jabba thinks that he was double-crossed by Boba Fett, who he thinks sold it to Crimson Dawn, hence why there is a bounty on Fett's head. Dengar knows that no one could get the drop on Fett, and they have only tracked him because they are almost as good as him. Valance doesn't want to listen to any more ghost stories, but Devono says that they are real, and if she knows that he has talked, he would have been killed. Almost on cue, De Novo has his head blown off by a spear. Dengar knows that his story just got more plausible as Valance knows that they need to take out the sniper. He soon is hit by a spear as well, knowing that if he doesn't stabilize his core processor, it will blow. Dengar resists the urge to let him die, pulling the Hunter to cover since he knows that neither will survive on their own if Crimson Dawn really is after them. Above them, the assassin Deathstick targets the Hunters with her crossbow, intending on killing them for their knowledge.